Alhamdulillah wa sallallahu wa sallam ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam amma ba'd. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless the Muslims everywhere. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant relief and forgiveness and raise up the Muslims in righteousness everywhere, whether they be those who are oppressed in Iraq or Afghanistan, whether they be our brothers and sisters who are being slaughtered in Syria. May Allah have mercy upon them. May it be our brothers and sisters who are slaughtered and being persecuted in Burma. May it be our brothers and sisters who are being persecuted in Ethiopia. And so I want to dedicate this and speak about something about what we've recently heard about what's going on in Ethiopia. And this is news from Ethiopia. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mercy and bless the Muslims everywhere and protect them from the evil of the shayateen from amongst the men and the jinn. And may Allah protect them from Ahl Kufr wa Zandaqa. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect them from Ahl Bid'ah, because often you'll see that Ahl Bid'ah and Ahl Kufr are one. The people of disbelief and the people of innovation, a lot of times they work together to hurt Ahl Sunnah and hurt the Muslims everywhere. And this is what we're seeing in Ethiopia right now. We see that the Jamaat al-Ahbash, Abdullah ibn Hariri, his group, this deviant group that has nothing to do with Kitabillah wa Sunnatul Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and we've made that clear in many of our sittings, and it's very clear from what the ulama of Ahl Sunnah have spoken about them, and it's very clear from their own statements that they go against what the Muslims believe. And so here's what's going on in Ethiopia to our brothers and sisters. It says Ethiopian Muslims killed for sadaqah. At least 4 Muslims were shot dead when Ethiopian security forces stormed into a mosque in the capital Addis Ababa to disrupt preparations for a citywide program called Sadaqah, meaning the feast. Sources told that Ethiopian federal police stormed the Awali Mosque late Friday, July 13th, and attacked Muslim volunteers inside. Sources said security forces fired tear gas and beat Muslims gathering inside the building. At least 4 people were reportedly killed in the attack, while several others were seriously injured. The volunteers were preparing for food and drinks for a citywide program called a Sadaqah, meaning the feast, on Sunday, July 15th. Witnesses also confirmed the brutal police attack on Muslims inside the mosque. They broke the door and entered and started shooting at Muslims. Ahmed Adin Jebel, representing a mosque community group, told Bloomberg, many were attacked and they arrested almost all of those there. After a call to prayers, Muslims who gathered in response to the incident were involved in further clashes, he said. Police closed all roads leading to Awalia from all directions. Thousands of Ethiopian Muslims streamed towards the capital's largest mosque on Saturday in response to distress calls that were heard from minarets throughout Friday night following the police attack. Ahmadin said thousands of Muslims gathered at the mosque in Mercato area to demand the release of all those arrested. Friday's attack follows the arrest of 2 members of a committee selected by Ethiopian Muslims to formally voice protests of Muslims against government's interference in their religious affairs. Again, a non-Muslim government who's getting in Muslim affairs. Where's the democracy? What happened to this freedom of speech? What is the right to gather and protest? What happened to all these things? But instead, let's see what the non-Muslim Christian government is doing to the Muslims in Ethiopia. So, in April, 4 Muslims were killed in clashes with police in southern Ethiopia, protests at the arrest of a Muslim preacher. Ethiopia, Africa's second most populous country, is home to 60% Christian. We know this is not true. And about 34% Muslim. Definitely not true. According to CIA Factbook, Muslim Unity. Several Feasts of Unity have been organized across Ethiopia. The Feasts of Unity are seen as a practical response to the government's attempt to divide the Muslim population along sectarian lines, accusing some Salafi Muslims, which of course this is batil, this is falsehood, of extremism tendency. And we've already made clear many times that Salafis meaning those people who adhere to what the Quran says and what the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, and according to what the Sahaba were upon. They're the farthest from extremism. They're the farthest from bid'ah. They're the farthest from zandaqa. They're the farthest from killing and wanton violence and evil and worshipping graves and other falsehoods and evil practices. That it says, Awaliya is the center of Muslim protests against attempts by the Ethiopian government to interfere in their religious affairs. How do they interfere in religious affairs? Here's how it goes. Muslims say the government is spearheading a campaign in collaboration with the Supreme Council of Islamic Affairs to indoctrinate their community with the ideology of a sect called the Ahbash, wa'iyadhu billah minhum. And this, the government of Ethiopian Premier Meles Zenawi has put the Ahbash in charge. They put the Ahbash in charge of the religious affairs of the Ethiopian Muslims. Batil, enforcing batil. Falsehood, enforcing falsehood. Evil, enforcing evil. The government of Ethiopian Premier said, the government of Ethiopian Muslims say the government move is a violation of the constitution, which prevents the government interference in religious affairs. Where's the democracy? Federal Republic of Ethiopia. What happened? What happened to your democracy? Yeah, shooting, imprisoning, appointing for religious affairs. Where's this freedom of religious and freedom of speech? Muslims also accuse the Ahbash of launching an indoctrination program in predominantly Muslim areas, forcing people to attend religious training camps or risk police interrogation and possible arrests. Founded by Ethiopian Lebanese scholar Sheikh Abdullah al-Harari. Founded. We don't need founders. Islam is from Allah, and it is from the Sunnah to Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and according to the methodology of the Salaf Salih. That's it. We don't need Ikhwan Muslimin. We don't need Jamaat Tabligh. We don't need Sufi. We don't need this group or this one or that one. And we don't need to be founded by some Ethiopian Lebanese scholar named Sheikh Abdullah al-Harari. Ahbash is seen by the West as a friendly alternative. So this is in conjunction, according with what disbelievers, they want this. They love this. They love to see discord between the Muslims. It benefits them, makes their hearts feel good, because then they can keep us divided. But we don't accept that. We don't like sectarianism. We don't call to sectarianism. We call to unification of the Muslims based upon love, based upon tawheed, based upon loving Allah, based upon worshipping Allah, based upon following the Sunnah of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Let's see. So the West loves this. Seen by the West as a friendly alternative to Wahhabi ideology. I don't know what that is. I've been looking for it, still trying to figure this one out. Which the West sees as extreme and militant. Muslims say Ahbash imams are being brought over by Lebanon to fill the majlis and teach Ethiopians that Wahhabis are non-Muslims. Look at these people. Preachers of takfir. Preachers of worshipping graves. And go to their books and you'll find it. There's tons of research out. Go to their websites in English. Go to their websites in Amharic. Go to their websites in Arabic. You'll see the grave worship. What kind of, this sounds like the pagans that we have in America. We have the Wiccan group. We have other people who want to worship these gods, and the ones who want to worship the dead, and the ones who worship the cow. What is this? Muslims are far from that. Islam preaches the worship of Allah alone. We believe in monotheism. We don't believe in grave worship. And we don't accept the interference of no one. And we don't accept sectarianism. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, افترقت اليهود لإحدى وسبعين فرقة وافترقت النصارى لإثنتين وسبعين فرقة وستفترق هذه أمة لثلاثة وسبعين فرقة كلها في النار إلا واحدة. قلنا من هي يا رسول الله؟ قال من كان على مثل وما كان عليه وأصحابي اليوم. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, the Jews will break into 71 sects, the Christians 72 sects, and my ummah, meaning the Muslims, will break into 73 sects, all of them in the hellfire except for one. Who are they, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? This was the Sahaba radiallahu ta'ala anhum ajma'in asked. And he said, those who are upon my sunnah and that which my companions are upon today. This is what we are upon. We believe in the oneness of Allah. And we don't believe in riots. And we don't believe in going out and protesting. And we don't believe in political disturbances. But we also don't believe in people interfering in our affairs. We don't believe in terrorism. We don't believe in extremism. We don't believe in grave worship. We don't believe in worshiping the Prophet ﷺ. We don't believe in worshiping the jinn. We don't ta'awun with the jinn. We don't ta'awun with devils. We don't work with the shayateen. We don't work with any evil. We don't work with Ahl Bid'ah. We don't work with Ahl Kufr. But we believe in La ilaha illallah, wahdahu la sharika lah, wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. We believe in the worship of Allah alone, and we believe in the tawheed of Allah, and we believe in Kitabillah, and we believe in Sunnah to Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And may Allah help the Muslims everywhere and protect them from the harm of the shayateen, from the men and the jinn. And may Allah bless the Muslims everywhere and grant us forgiveness, and that has put us in this humiliated state, because we don't accept the interference from anyone. No one can cause sectarianism and this evil and force us into extremism. We're far from it. We hate this, and we hate these ideologies, and we hate bid'ah. We hate innovation. People who try to interject in our religion. We dislike what the Ahbash are doing. They work them And the Rafid, the Shia al-Rafid, they're not even Muslim. And then the Ahbash work with them. And the Ahbash work with who? They work with those people who want to turn us away. What does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say fi kitabihi al-kareem about those people who, what do they believe? He said, وَقَالَتِ الْيَهُودِ وَقَالَ سُبْحَانَهُ وَتَعَالَى فِي كِتَابِهِ الْكَرِيمِ, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that never will the Jews nor the Christians be pleased with you till you follow their religion. Say, verily the guidance of Allah, that is the only guidance. And if you were to follow their desires after what you have received of knowledge, then you would have against Allah neither any wali nor helper. So we're not going to follow that minhaj. We're not going to allow division in our community. We're not going to follow the Ahbash. We're not going to worship with the Ahbash. We're going to make dua against the Ahbash. And we're going to call them to Quran and Sunnah, to leave bid'ah, to leave ma'asi, to leave dunub, to leave all this shirk and all this evil, and to ask them to leave working with the shayateen who want to harm the Muslims. But in fact, we find with many Ahl bid'ah, and especially those who are the most extreme amongst them, that they work with the people of disbelief. And often they share disbelief with them. And we ask Allah the Almighty to protect the Muslims everywhere. Wa sallallahu wa sallam ala nabiyyina Muhammad.